Good evening, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gotcha, Episode 1, the pilot episode. So everyone, it's finally here. Kamen Rider Gotcha is here. And I have to say, it's a great start. I am curious for more. I know I told you guys before that it didn't look promising after watching the trailer more than 3 times. But after watching the first, it's so far so good. We already know what the plot is, what the mission is, and things will become more clear in episode 2 and 3. And yeah, so far so good. I don't feel like I'm missing Geats all that much. Because if you have a good episode, you don't feel the actor effects of, oh man, I missed the previous season, it was so good, and like I did in the past. Like when Saber happened after watching episode 1, I was like still in 0-1 mode, and so on and so forth. With Revise, like I was like, Saber sucked for me. I didn't like it, and I was happy with episode 1, and I was into it. And then Geats happened, and I'm happy that I didn't felt like I missed Revise all that much. Same thing here. So they did a good job. And before I say anything else, let us go to our tale and do our usual recap, shall we? So the episode begins with this mystery man being chased by these 3 weird sisters, led by a 9-year-old, by the way, I know. And they're attacking this mystery man. And then he uses the cards to defend himself against them. He escapes to this world full of, science stuff. And you see all 101 cards, and then he takes out 2 cards, the train card, the streamliner, and Hopper 1, and tells them, hey, find the child of destiny. And they both said, and they go into the real world. And then we move on to the first official appearance of Haruto. We get to see the scene of Mama-san's restaurant. You see him cooking freestyle bento boxes, whether it's for himself or for the customers. And you could tell already that he is an innocent sophomore who has big dreams. He's searching for that one thing that will make him go gotcha. And his mom, is cooking in the back and explaining to customers, what's the gotcha? And she's explaining, oh, he got it, and blah, blah, blah. Just the definition of gotcha. And you can tell that that Haruto is like, oh, he's happy where he's at, but still he's not satisfied. He's looking for that it. And then Mama-san tells Haruto, like, hey, you're gonna be late. You need to go get your ass to school, man. And he just, oh, crap, and just quickly takes his stuff and goes outside the restaurant, goes to school. And then we see the beginnings of a mystery. It always happens with a picture frame. You see young Haruto with Mama-san, and you see Papa-san. Only that his face is covered. We can't assume who it is because it's the first episode. I could say it was the mystery man that died. Maybe it could be Minamoto sensei. It could be a lot of men. So we don't know who Haruto's father is. So that's the beginnings of a mystery. We move on to Furasu High. And this is where we get introduced to Minamoto sensei. He stops Haruto and tells him, hey, you didn't fill in the career the career line, and Haruto was like, I can't give you an answer because I don't know what it is. But if once I find what it is, I will come back and fill it up. I'm looking for that gacha. And of course, Minamoto says, oh no, not the gacha thing again. And his first appearance, though, he looks like he hasn't slept in days. He looked like he doesn't want to be in school. He was giving me that, I don't want to be here look. You can tell. And then we get introduced to Kudoh, who she just walks by both boys, and Kudoh, well, before that, Horato tries to stop Kudoh and introduces himself like, hey, I've seen you in class, and then Kudoh gives like the I don't know you treatment, and Horato was like, what do you mean you don't know me? We're in the same class. What are you talking about? And then Minamoto Sensei tells Kudoh that you didn't fill in your career paper either. And she's like, oh, I have this thing, but yeah, I'm gonna not do it or something. And then we move on in class, which, by the way, already I'm feeling the Foze vibes, because if you watch Kamen Rider Foze, it was like a space school, and I'm getting this, school vibes because of Foze. And Haruto was called out by Minamoto Sensei and asked, hey, so since you're good at history, whatever, since you're not paying attention, what is the Renaissance? And Haruto was like, he gave a weird response about dreams and stuff, and everybody in class was laughing at him. And he directs, Minamoto Sensei directed his question to Kudoh, which she too wasn't paying attention, but the only difference was that she gave an answer that blew Haruto's answer out the water. And Minamoto Sensei, okay, that's fine. So you were paying attention, even though it didn't look like you were paying attention. And then we get introduced to Haruto's friend, Kaiji Kai. Yeah, Kaiji Kai is frantic. He's panicking, and Haruto's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? Oh, Haruto, I'm hearing things. There's a monster on the loose. And, he's all frantic, and like, Haruto's like, really? There's a monster? And, Kaiji Kai was like, was giving out this strange noise he heard. And then next thing you know, you see Kudoh walking away, and Haruto decides, hey, bestie, I need to go. Good luck with your monster thing. I'm out. So Haruto decides to follow her for some reason, and then Kudoh pulls a Harry Potter. She goes to this wall, does her magic with her winger power, and she goes through this magical door that leads to, well, eventually the alchemy school. And Haruto was in the back, just in hiding, in shock, like, what the hell just happened? And then, next thing you know, there's a door that mysteriously opens up by itself, which led into some kind of basement or cellar. And Haruto hears these weird screeching noises, and he gets reminded of what Kaiji Kai has said earlier, and he's like, oh great, it's the monster. Next thing you know, you see Hopper 1. And then after that, we get into, speaking of bestie, Kaiji Kai was at the subway station waiting for his train. Next, you know, you hear this person in the microphone all of a sudden say, "Hey, this weird train is going through the station," and you see the streamer liner just going through, and Kaiji Kai was like, "Ah, a monster!" and he decides to take a picture. Mind you, I have to say this: the special effects still suck. I mean, old Kaiser, old Ranger, it's better in CGI than the show. I'm just saying, but I mean, Kamen Rider in general, you know, using CGI, it's just like you need to upgrade your CGI, man. That's all I'm gonna say. So, Kaiji Kai spots the streamliner while at the same time Haruto was at a park and he was trying to feed the grasshopper. And then all of a sudden, you know, the grasshopper decides to scream, which led towards the streamliner like, "Oh, that's the grasshopper signal. I'm gonna go and search for that noise." And then going back to the park, you see Kudoh walking, and she spots Haruto and the grasshopper, and then Haruto's like, "Oh crap, it's Kudoh," and decides to stuff the grasshopper inside the backpack. And Kudoh was like, "What the hell was that? What's going on?" And he was like, nothing at all. Mind your own business." And you hear the grasshopper was like screaming and yelling and fidgeting on inside the backpack. And then the train appears, and you see all these people just running away from the train. And the train is starting to, you know, go after Horato. And then Kudoh yells out, "Chemy!" and then pushes Haruto away, and she uses her ring of power to wear this alchemy uniform. She uses her magic on the train, but it doesn't work. Fast forward, you know, Haruto saves the girl, but not before the train eats Haruto. And takes him to this realm where the mystery man was, which, you know, of course he does. He meets the mystery man and says, "Hey, you have been chosen by these two cards. You are the child of destiny, and I'm here to give you the driver." And Haruto, he's like, "Why haven't you told me this before?" I mean, you could have just say so, you know, and not just cause whatever it is you caused in the park. You could just say, "Hey, you know, you are chosen to be this hero of the season, so please get inside me and I'll take you to the mystery man so he will give you the driver." That's it. That's it. But no, it didn't happen that way. So he's like, "Okay, I'll take it. Thank you," you know. And then this happy moment happens. You see all the 101 cards. And then next thing you know, the weird sisters appear and tells the boys like, "That driver is a tool for destruction. It's not a tool for hope," and all that good stuff. "Hand it over." And the sisters, you know, decides to attack the boys. And then you see the mystery man trying his best to defend Haruto, but he couldn't. Like, he stalled, but unfortunately it causes his life. So before he dies, he ends up bestowing the powers of Kamen Rider to Haruto and entrusts in him the future of the world. And, you know, and you see him turn to dust. And then all of a sudden, Haruto appears back to the real world where Kudoh was wondering, "Where the hell did you go?" And she spots the driver, the bag with the driver on, and then all of a sudden, well, before Then all of a sudden, I mean, you see a portal at the sky, and you see all 101 chemy cards like escaping into the real world, and it's causing a lot of chaos and destruction. So as the weird sisters were attacking the boys, you see the cards just quickly escapes. So it just reminds me a whole lot of Cardcaptor Sakura in terms of when Sakura opened the cards accidentally, all the cloud cards escaped, and then of course Kiruberos appears and tells Sakura like, hey, like, you need to get those cards back. And that's been the story ever since. It's the same here by the very end, of course. So let's see. So the 101 cards are attacking the city. We get to see another mystery man with another ring of power. Only this time he has like a blank card. We don't know who it is. And then the three sisters were still at the sky, and tells Haruto and Kudoh that the world is gonna change for the worse. So yeah, embrace the change. And then Clotho asked the 9-year-old, hey, can I be the one to kill this kid? Yeah, sure, why not? Go ahead. So she ends up attacking both Haruto and Kudoh, and you can tell she's an expert fighter, and she easily defeats both of them. And she then spots a mantis, and using her magic, she absorbs the mantis and transforms herself into a monster. Haruto had no idea what the hell went down, and Kudoh explained that sort of thing is forbidden. It's just, if someone merges with a chemy with malice, that person turns into a monster, that sort of thing. And then Clotho says, hey, fork over the driver and you will live. And yeah, or I will take it from your dead body. Either way, I'm gonna have this driver. And then Haruto just took a stand and tells her, no. First of all, this mysterious man who gave his life for me bestow upon me this driver and these 2 cards. Okay, I've been chosen. There's no way in hell I'm gonna give those things up to you. So yeah, take it off from my dead body. And then this is where he introduces himself as Kamen Rider Gacha. He gave the driver the Gacha driver. And also during the transfer, the mystery man gave him the instructions of how to transform and maybe how to fight, because looking at Haruto, he's just a sophomore who doesn't like to fight, I guess. But when he transforms into a Kamen Rider, he's like all of a sudden goes head to toe to Clotho, who looked like she has been fighting her entire life. I know it's a loophole, but it is what it is. It's something you you look over. It's a superhero show. What do you expect? Anyways, so after he introduces himself as Kamen Rider Gacha, he does the henshin, but not as his rider form. He ends up transforming into a giant blue grasshopper, and Kudoh was like, is that a Kamen Rider? Is that what it looks like? But of course, Hotarou was like, okay, this is not what I imagined, but you know what? I'm gonna use it. So he ends up attacking Clotho in that form, and then after he got knocked down, he gets another programming thing where, oh, this is how I transform into an official Kamen Rider. Okay. And so he officially transformed into his rider form. Mind you, that suit is really, really shiny. And mind you, the suit actor, the the suit actor who is playing Gotcha right now is the same guy who was Keiwa's suit actor. So congratulations to him. I didn't mention this before, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna mention this right now. So congratulations to Keiwa's suit actor. Anyway, so he ends up transforming into Kamen Rider Gotcha officially. You hear the opening credits, the opening song for this show, and it sounds more anime than anything else. I have no problems with it, but if you hear it, you assume that, hey, is this an anime opening? Because it does sound like an anime opening. And so already Haruto is an expert fighter. He ends up defeating Clotho and destroying her with a little help with Kudoh, mind you. And the mantis, chemy, escapes, and instantly Haruto just took out a random blank card, uses it on the mantis, and it gets sucked back in. So he has 3 cards now. So now already the story is, okay, I need to collect all 101 cards. So I got 3 of them. We have like 97, if my math is correct, more to go. And then you see Clotho being resurrected and tells him, like, this is just the beginning. We will take those cards and those drivers. And yeah, goodbye. You know, typical villain ending speech. Bye-bye. And then, all of a sudden, like, this is weird because Haruto's bestie appears out of nowhere. Like, how did you know that Haruto was where he was at? Anyways, he runs towards Haruto like, hey, I saw this weird looking train. I have this picture. It's a monster. And then all of a sudden, time stopped a little bit by someone who has another ring of power. And then after time stopped, Kaji Kai just like, hey, where am I? Why am I here? And he just like, the picture is gone. His memory was gone. So whoever did that thought that, hey, we don't need any more people getting involved in this. This needs to remain a secret. So yeah, for safety reasons, I had to erase your friend's memory. Speaking of which, the mystery person who used the time memory wipe magic was none other than Minamoto Sensei. And he uses the ring to transform into his alchemy uniform and tells Haruto like, hey, like this, I never seen this happen since, I don't know, 120 years ago. So it begins again. And Haruto was like, you too, Sensei? What's going on here? Like, he doesn't have that shock look, but he was like, huh? Nani? And yeah, that's the end of the episode, guys. That's the end. So far, I mean, it's a great start. I'm interested to learn more as the episode goes on. Again, it gives me a lot of Cardcaptor Sakura, Forze, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings because of the rings. But the story was like the first episode already gave out a lot of information. We already know that Gotcha's mission is to not only protect the driver from the Weird Sisters, but also collecting all 101 cards. So that's Gotcha's main mission. And in episode 2, it looks like, oh, well, you're going to be a chemist now. And Minamoto says he's going to teach him the ways of a chemist. And yeah, Haruto's going to pull double duty here triple duty. Because Not only he needs to attend regular high school, he has to go and attend alchemy school and then protect the world from the weird sisters led by the 9-year-old. And then, of course, collecting the cards. So he has a lot of work ahead of him here. Now, in terms of the actor, he's a little stiff, but I think once he gets his groove on, I think he's going to be more relaxed. And yeah, so far, the character itself, he's a dreamer. He doesn't know what to do for his life. But now that he met Hopper 1 and Kudoh, and now Minamoto Sensei being, air quotes, the Dumbledore of the story, I think his options are wide open now on what he wants to be when he grows up. Mind you, even though I assume Geets would have been the producer of his new DGP, I never thought that he would take the Jesus route. But hey, this is just the first episode, and I'm happy on how it turned out. And again, I usually don't give with trailers. I just oh, I'm not feeling it, or maybe it's getting somewhere. But once watching the first, second, and third episodes, that's where I feel like, okay, this is becoming good or this is becoming bad. But in this case here, I think it's going into the right direction. So I'm hoping that at the end of this season next year, it may top Geets, because Geets really set the bar up really, really, on top of there. So let's see if Gacha breaks that bar. We have to wait and see. But I like the first episode, and let's see how it goes, shall we? So thank you so much for listening. Mind you, just a brief reminder that I will do a heroes and villains video on Kamen Rider Geets and my overall thoughts of the season itself. It's going to take a while because I do have a day job. So I'm going to do my best to, make the video and upload it, that sort of thing. But I'm going to take my time on it because it's a lot of information, and I want to do it justice the same way I did for Revise. I'm going to do it justice. So I want to take my time on it. So besides that, thank you so much for listening. Please, everyone, tell me, what's your first reaction after watching episode 1 of Kamen Rider Gacha? Did you get all these vibes like I've gotten with, oh, this is Sakura, this is Foze, all these vibes? Tell me all about it. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Or if you disliked it, what would you change? And did you like the characters so far? Tell me all about it. Also, if I missed anything, please write on the comments below as well, because even though I have my notes in front of me, I tend to forget a couple of small things. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Please give a like if you like it. Please subscribe, and I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!